Welcome to Acts of Kindness Stories. On a stormy night at the edge of a quiet town, a life-changing discovery unfolded. Rachel, a devoted single mother, watched through rain-streaked windows as her brave 5-year-old son, Eli, noticed something extraordinary in the muddy darkness. His heart beat with a mix of fear and determination, a feeling that would soon ignite hope in the midst of despair. As the wind howled and the rain fell in relentless sheets, Eli stepped outside, drawn by a sound that whispered of secrets hidden beneath the storm. In a small clearing near an old grove, his careful eyes caught a glimpse of 2 canine figures, trapped and barely breathing, buried under the saturated earth. What happened next would transform a night of terror into a story of courage and compassion that none would forget. With nothing but their sheer will and an unspoken bond between them, Rachel and Eli worked together under the harsh glare of fleeting lightning. Every moment was charged with urgency as they dug through the relentless mud to free the 2 suffering German shepherds, one gentle and one fierce, each with eyes that told tales of pain and resilience. In that fragile moment between life and despair, Eli's small hands and unwavering heart showed that even the smallest among us can be a mighty hero. This is the beginning of a journey that reaches far beyond saving 2 animals. It's a tale about how acts of kindness can mend broken hearts, restore lost voices, and remind us that hope can shine through even the darkest storms. Stay with us as we follow Rachel, Eli, and their rescued companions, each step echoing a promise that love and bravery can rewrite even the saddest stories. Thank you for joining us on Acts of Kindness Stories, where every act, no matter how small, can create a ripple of change that touches countless lives. Under the relentless downpour that had soaked every corner of their small town, Rachel and Eli became unwilling participants in a night that would change everything. While the storm battered the old cottage, Eli's sensitive eyes caught a glimpse of something disturbingly out of place outside, a pair of dark, motionless shapes barely visible against the muddy backdrop. Despite his tender age of 5, his heart pounded with a courage that belied his size. Without hesitation, he tugged at his mother's sleeve and pointed toward a narrow path leading into a nearby thicket. Rachel's maternal instincts kicked in. With each pounding step in the torrential rain, the duo made their way through an environment transformed by the storm, branches and mud swirling like a chaotic maelstrom, until in a small clearing, they discovered the unimaginable. 2 German shepherds, buried alive in thick, clinging mud. Their eyes widened in terror and compassion as they realized that these beautiful creatures were suffering, their labored breaths barely audible over the roar of the rain. Rachel's hands trembled as she knelt beside Eli, and together they began clearing away the mud. Each scoop of waterlogged earth revealed more of the dogs, a gentle female whose leg was broken and a loyal male bearing fresh wounds, both connected by a heavy industrial chain. Every moment was vital. The rescue was fraught with the risk of rising water, yet the determination in Eli's eyes and the steady resolve in Rachel's voice drove them forward. They worked methodically, matching each movement with hope and urgency, piecing together the grim puzzle of deliberate cruelty behind the dog's plight. As the rescue progressed, the pair began to unravel alarming details that hinted this was no random act of neglect or misfortune. Embedded within the cold metal of the collars were tracking devices, an indication that someone had intended to control these animals even as they were meant to suffer. This discovery stoked the embers of outrage in Rachel's heart and ignited a spark of fierce protectiveness in Eli, who, despite the storm's fury, appeared more awake and determined than ever before. Their selfless act of compassion became a testament to the extraordinary power of kindness in the face of human cruelty. The rescue did not occur in isolation. Word of their brave deed quickly spread throughout the community. Neighbors, local law enforcement, and even a few concerned citizens converged on the scene. Among them was a sheriff whose weathered face soon hardened at the sight of the dog's injuries and the chilling evidence of their mistreatment. As emergency responders worked to secure the area and provide medical help for the dogs, questions began to mount about the origins of this disturbing crime. The evidence, the meticulously buried canines, the tracking devices firmly attached to their collars, and even a mysterious medallion clutched in Eli's small hand, suggested a broader scheme of unethical animal experimentation. As Rachel and Eli were escorted into the warmth of the local veterinary clinic, The atmosphere inside grew tense with urgency and unresolved questions. The clinic's treatment rooms became a makeshift battleground where compassion met bureaucracy. Medical professionals labored tirelessly to stabilize the two rescued dogs, now christened Luna and Max, while the sheriff coordinated an investigation into the mysterious tracking devices. Among the clamor of concerned voices, Eli, who had long been silent after the loss of his father, found his voice once more. In a whisper that carried both the innocence of childhood and an unyielding resolve to protect those he loved, he reassured Luna, "I won't let them hurt you again." That single moment reverberated through the room, echoing the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of empathy. Yet even as hope rekindled in that uncertain night, a new shadow began to emerge. An official, clad in a dark uniform with an air of authority, arrived with documents that claimed federal jurisdiction over the animals. The man, whose demeanor was as cold as the storm outside, insisted that Luna and Max were not mere stray victims, but valuable research assets, products of a secretive government-backed project aimed at enhancing canine empathy. His claims were further bolstered by references to covert programs, classified experiments, and a series of disturbing ethical violations that had left a trail of hidden suffering. Rachel's heart sank as the man detailed the sinister origins behind Luna and Max, insinuating that the dogs had been subject to cruel experiments designed to manipulate their behavior. Yet the bond that had formed between Eli and the rescued dogs was palpable, a silent, almost sacred connection that transcended any attempt to label them as property or research subjects. Before the official's words could take hold, the unity in the rescue team grew stronger. Local law enforcement, bolstered by the weight of community support and new evidence uncovered during the frantic night, challenged the man's authority. An intense standoff ensued, marked by words of defiance and the quiet determination of a young boy who stood unyielding between the agents and his newfound guardians. In that charged moment, Eli's protective stance and the dog's unwavering loyalty forced a pause, a brief interlude during which the true nature of their connection was undeniable. Luna's gentle, soulful eyes and Max's steady, assuring presence seemed to speak a language beyond mere commands and control. Their behavior was not that of engineered assets but of living, breathing beings capable of deep emotional intelligence and empathy. It was as if the storm had washed away the layers of cruelty, revealing the inherent worth and dignity of all creatures. The conviction in Eli's voice, pure, unblemished by the complexities of adult disputes, carried a potent message, that love and compassion could triumph over systems built on exploitation. In the aftermath, as the night yielded to a tentative dawn, the fate of Luna and Max slowly transformed from that of evidence in an investigation to living symbols of resilience and hope. Community members, moved by the extraordinary events, rallied together to ensure that the dogs would receive the care and protection they deserved. The rescue effort evolved into a larger mission, one that sought not only to heal physical wounds but also to address the ethical breaches that had allowed such inhumane acts to occur. Rachel, Eli, and the dedicated medical team navigated the labyrinth of legal and administrative challenges with unwavering determination. While the federal investigation loomed large, every step they took was underpinned by a commitment to educate the public on the importance of kindness, the ethics of animal care, and the transformative power of empathy. Eli, once silenced by grief, now became a beacon of hope, a living example of how even the smallest voices can challenge injustice and foster healing. Throughout the ensuing days, the community gathered in support. Local news outlets, inspired by the bravery of a little boy and the resilience of two abandoned dogs, chronicled their journey. Schools hosted discussions on compassion and ethical treatment of animals. Medical experts and animal behaviorists were invited to talk about the profound bond between humans and animals, a relationship that could provide solace in times of despair and ignite the courage to stand against cruelty. This chapter of resilience, compassion, and urgent advocacy not only redefined Luna and Max's future but also transformed Eli's world. His newfound voice resonated far beyond the boundaries of his small town, carrying a message that true strength is measured not by physical power, but by the capacity to love, understand, and protect. Every act of kindness sparked by that stormy night became a lesson, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, hope finds a way to flourish. As daylight broke and the community rallied behind their youngest hero and his four-legged companions, one thing became undeniable. The story unfolding was not merely about a rescue or a confrontation with oppressive authority. It was about the transformative power of empathy. It was a reminder that when we embrace our shared vulnerability and extend kindness to those in need, we not only save lives, we mend broken hearts and pave the way for a brighter, more compassionate future. As morning light broke over the quiet town, a sense of calm and renewal replaced the storm's fury. Rachel and Eli stood before the small, sturdy cabin where their lives had changed so dramatically. Outside, the rescued German shepherds, now lovingly known as Luna and Max, roamed the yard with renewed energy and a gentle vigilance that spoke of the bond they'd formed with Eli. Every detail of that harrowing night had transformed into a symbol of hope and human kindness, a reminder that even in our darkest hours, compassion can bring us together and heal our deepest wounds. In the days that followed, the community came together with renewed purpose. Neighbors shared stories of unexpected courage, teachers spoke of resilience in the face of loss, and experts highlighted the remarkable connection between humans and animals. Rachel, Eli, and the dedicated team who had helped save Luna and Max found themselves not only at the center of an investigation into cruelty and unethical practices, but at the heart of a movement to embrace empathy, protect our vulnerable companions, and educate others on the value of kindness. For Eli, once a withdrawn child silenced by grief, every gentle pat on Luna's head and every reassuring nudge from Max now echoed like a promise that love could overcome even the most painful challenges. His newfound voice resonated far beyond the walls of their small home. It reached out through community gatherings, school discussions, and heartfelt letters from neighbors inspired by his courage. The story of how a tiny act of compassion had sparked a wave of change reminded everyone that every act of kindness matters, no matter how small it may seem. As local news spread the inspiring tale, more people began to understand that these rescued animals were not just victims of a cruel scheme but were living proof that healing begins when we choose to care. The evidence uncovered, the tracking devices, the mysterious medallion, and the undeniable bond between the boy and the dogs became a catalyst for change. Authorities committed to ensuring that such cruelty would never go unchecked again, and the community rallied to demand better protection for all living beings. Now, with Luna and Max on the path to full recovery and the promise of a future where the remaining puppies find loving homes, there is a powerful call for action. Every member of this community, from the youngest to the oldest, carries a spark that can ignite lasting change. Their journey is a testament to the idea that compassion is a force stronger than any storm, a force capable of repairing broken hearts and building bridges between people and animals alike. Before we close this chapter of our story, remember that this is not just a tale of rescue and recovery. It's a living, ongoing story of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of empathy. We invite you to join us in this mission. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know which moment touched you the most and how you believe kindness can change our world. If this story inspired you, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Acts of Kindness Stories. Help us reach 10,000 subscribers so that these messages of hope and compassion can continue to spread far and wide. Thank you for watching, and for being a part of a movement where every act of kindness creates a ripple that can heal our world.